Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club, a podcast for agents where you'll witness a battle of opinions about topics affecting your real estate business. Now, always in your corner, here are your hosts, Jen Mertland and Monica Weekly.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What's up, Jay Mert?
Hey, Monica.
How are you?
I'm stoked for today's episode.
We've got a little party going on in this house.
I'm ready to fight our guest.
Now listen, when you invite guests over, you don't fight them.
He knows I'm hostile. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you introduce our most fabulous heavy hitter? This is our second heavy hitter episode, and I'm super excited to have Luke with us. So take it away.
Yes. So I'd like to introduce Luke Acree. Hey, Luke.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I feel honored. I'm ready to go. I broke a little sweat before I came in here. I was like, I got to put up a good fight, Conor McGregor style type, you know.
Yeah,
so I'm ready to go.
Jump rope, jump, fast feet, jump rope, kind of get ready to get in the ring.
Luke did some double dutch, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm excited to have you on because you are the president of Reminder Media, but you're the co-host of the Stay Paid podcast, which if people do not listen to that, this is like hashtag Team Monica podcast. They should listen to it.
It's a really good podcast.
So good. And even I listen to it, even though it's really about marketing to your sphere, right?
Relationships.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the truth. I mean, we go over all marketing, all sales. So we get to interview a bunch of people. Not everybody we agree with. Some people we disagree with, but it's awesome because you get to hear a bunch of different perspectives of a lot of people who've made it.
That's true. You have had some cold calling episodes, which I enjoy, of course.
Yep.
But what I really like about it too is that it's not just real estate agents. I mean, you interview a lot of people outside of real estate, which I think for us as business owners is really helpful to get that perspective.
Yeah, it's as our company, so my company, we work with about 140 different industries.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been really interesting to kind of see the effects of marketing on consumers across industries.
Yeah.
And then we try to bring the same feel to our podcast to try to interview, top producers in the insurance space, top producers in, like we had a data person on not too long ago. We had an email marketing specialist on, his company's an email marketing company. So just kind of hearing how these different companies are thriving and how the consumer responds, because that's really marketing. When you think about it, it's not really about the business. It's about how do you attract the consumer, and consumers.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if they're not responding.
That's right.
It's like, so it's really about the consumer, and that's what makes it really, really interesting.
What do you think? Let me ask just real quick question, Jen. Luke, what do you think realtors do better than some of these other industries that you've seen, and where do you think we're really lacking and behind?
Yeah. Okay. So better, I think real estate agents know, and this might sound cliche, but it's true. They know they actually have to market. So real estate agents aren't ashamed to market. Now, real estate agents are ashamed to sell. That's a whole different problem.
That's ridiculous.
They're not ashamed to market, which I actually appreciate, because you'd be so surprised, all these other industries, the lack of awareness from a marketing standpoint. Yeah, it's very interesting to go in. So I think real estate agents, two things they do really well. I think they are very personable by nature. It's just who gets into the business. So they naturally tend to drift to this idea of building relationships, and I got to get my name out there, and that type of idea.
Hey there, you liking this video? Go ahead and hit subscribe so you get all the latest videos.
Where they fail is they don't treat it like a real business. So I mean,
we have a horn.
Like real estate agents, they just like my biggest pain point as a company is I sign 100 real estate agents up to use our product, and 100 pay me, 69 actually use the product. Why? Because, and this was old stats, but this was the biggest pain point in my business. 69 wouldn't, because they couldn't get me a mailing list. They literally, their business was so unorganized. They didn't treat it like a business. They couldn't get me a mailing list. Now we've increased that, but it's still only 85 to 88% will end up using what they pay for, because they don't treat it like a real business.
Wow. Well, you're in a good business then. That's like
really.
a gift card return. Like nobody uses the gift card.
But I mean, I would think you guys are all about relationships, right? So if you only have 70 or 80%, I mean, that's good, but what's the repeatable part of that? You know what I mean? Like, you want people to use it so they keep coming back.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Our business is like, so we obviously market and help people with referral and repeat business. Our business has grown that way. So we need you to use the product. It's actually one of the biggest investments we made. I have 80 client success reps. And what those people do all day long is literally follow up with clients to get their mailing list, to get their photos.
Are they actually getting a hold of realtors? Because I'm having trouble getting a hold of them when I want to show property.
Well, it's just like your Facebook leads or any leads that you get, you got to call them 18 times.
Yeah, right. Oh, Jen, you're grumpy today.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll not tone it down. Sorry, not sorry.
Can you make sure to circle back and Luke, give us a little highlight of Reminder Media, because I know a lot of agents know what it is, but they might not know it by that word. So
a lot of people have probably heard about our products. Reminder Media, like if you want to find a way to keep in touch with your database, we never have to sell people that they have to follow up, right? With their leads, with their sphere of influence. Everybody knows they have to do that. Right. The question is not should you, it's just how.
Yeah.
And most of the time agents fall down because they don't know what to send. They don't know when to send things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what we did is we kind of step in and we give automated touch points sent to a real estate agent's database for them. And our really unique value proposition, especially in the beginning, is we created a 48-page coffee table publication for your real estate business. And the whole concept there at a high level was everything we tend to send gets deleted or thrown away because it's not a high enough quality to have shelf life. And so we were like, what can you do at scale, meaning hit 150, 200 people with, and be cost effective, but at the same time, people perceive it as a gift. They don't throw it away. And a magazine actually popped to mind that people value. They just perceive it as a gift. And it's been unbelievable for us. We'll work with about 42,000 realtors this year.
Wow.
With it. It's been unreal for us. Wow. And it's really produced a lot of great results. Sending a magazine to your clients as a gift.
Nice.
That's a lot. Yeah. And I want to talk and dive into, so it is a direct mail, but it sounds like, and I didn't know this, that it also has like a lot of other touch points attached to it. So what have you found from the agents that are successful at it? Because I'm sure you're getting their numbers too, right? Like what their sphere of influence and referrals were versus what it was after they used the product. What are you finding, like the number of touches, direct mail versus emails versus other sticky stuff? Like give us some tips on that.
Yep. So I'll answer kind of the magazine at first. So we hire a third-party research firm. They're a media research firm called GFK. So they go in and they kind of do an audit and surveys and a bunch of different stuff on the recipients. So not the real estate agents that are our clients, but who they're sending it to.
Okay.
And here's some things that they find. They find it's about a 4 to 6 week shelf life in the home.
Okay.
It's about a 44-minute read time over the course of those 4 to 6 weeks. Now, I always tell people, look, 44 minutes might not sound like a lot, but think about it this way.
That's
if you're
a lot.
Seinfeld fan, it's a long time. Seinfeld is 18 minutes long, right? That's 2 Seinfeld episodes they're spending with you, right? It's a billboard in the home. Yeah. And the stat to really drive home the return on investment there is 77% of sellers will choose the first agent they interview with. Right? That's NAR's latest stat. So what does that mean? It means you have to be first. If you're not first in the minds of the people when they think real estate, you're last, right? You're zero. It's a zero-sum game. You got to be first or you're out.
Right.
And so you need that billboard in the home. Then the other things they find out is the average person shares it with 3 people. The referral rate over the course of 12 months is 58%. How they got to that number is in surveying. They basically said, in the last 12 months, have you referred the business professional that sends you the magazine? And 58% respond yes. I never sell to people on statistics. What I tell them is there's gold in your database.
Right.
What you need to do is you need a way to go mine that gold. You need to go dig for it and get it. The magazine gives you your reason to call. Your magazine gives you your reason to reach out and literally say, hey, Monica, thinking about you today. I just got my latest magazine. I know I'm sending it to you as a gift. Hey, I want to see if you checked out that recipe on page 3. It was amazing. That builds the relationship, right? Which it figures out, does Monica need anything now? And then I can go, hey, Monica, love being your real estate agent. Was wondering if you knew anybody that you could connect me with, that I could help. I'd love to introduce myself, send this magazine to them as a gift. I just want to be of value to anybody that I can help maybe buy or sell real estate this year. NAR says the average person knows 3 to 5 people a year. You send this to 50 people, that's a potential of 250 opportunities out there for you. You're not going to get all of them.
Right.
Could you get 10%? but you get 25.
But I think you're right. And Monica, I mean, that's something, Monica, you preach all the time with like Ghost Poster and all that, is like, what do you have to know what to say to them too, like wave that flag. So this sending the magazine, doing the touch is a way to wave the flag. And then you still have to communicate with them. But what are you going to say? And that's why people don't call anybody, is because they don't know what to say. But it's like, hey, did you get my magazine? Did you see whatever? Right.
Yeah. It's at least
people
something.
Feel salesy.
Yes.
It's
right.
However, a commission sales job, Luke.
Yeah, but the irony is, and Luke, you know this, and Jen, you and I talk about this all the time. The irony is the magic is not in anything having to do with real estate. The magic is in the human to human relationship, the strengthening and the deepening of the relationship, and also then reminding them what you do for a living. And those two things can both be done from contribution,
right?
And do not have to be at all icky or weird or asking for anything. It's just, it's the pairing of those two things that generates the referral, I think.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. And I think like, if you're looking at your sphere of influence, and they are, I mean, a lot of people are the type that would like a very nice, like, magazine. And if you're sending it what is it? Every 4 to 6 weeks?
It's every 2 months it hits home. And then you have a digital version that goes out monthly. And then you have social media posts that are automated for you from your digital as well.
And plus you're coupling that, I'm sure, Monica, you could add some stuff too for people to do for their marketing, right? Like if you're doing the Facebook post and then touching the people that are replying and things like that. Yeah. I mean, dang. Yeah.
Well, they're just providing a very meaningful touch. And then that touch has, kind of a web effect. So it's brilliant.
It's what's crazy to people that I don't think people realize and they miss out on is, if you look, I think it's all about asking the right question, right? If I was going to go in and start a business today in real estate, I would want to make sure I understand the right question to ask. What's the right question? In my mind, it's, where do the transactions come from? Mm-hmm. So if I want to go out there and actually sell deals in real estate, I should look and go, well, where do deals actually come from? Right. How are real estate agents closing the majority of their deals today? If you look at the research, if you want to be a listing agent, it's like 64% of all listings come from referral and repeat business.
Right.
So if you're a gambling person, right, that's how the person is finding their real estate agent. Are you going to go to Vegas and gamble and spend your money on a place where you have a 64% chance of getting business? Are you going to go to maybe a place where you have a 5% chance of getting business, or 7% chance, which would be like FSBOs or something like that? There's nothing wrong with FSBOs, Zillow, all those things. Those are great strategies. I coach agents on them. But what I tell them is like, hey, look, if you really, really want to drive home a great business, focus first on your sphere. That will be the engine that drives it. And then it will allow you to go spend the money on these other places like FSBOs, expired listings, Zillow, Realtor.com, all these other places.
Well, I think too, like, I mean, I'm going to fight you a little bit just because.
I love it.
That's what we do. So let's go. I think that most agents, the reason why the stats are like that is because most agents are focused on their sphere. So if that's where you're focused, then that's where you're going to get the return, right? However, I will agree with you both, hashtag Team Monica, hashtag Team Luke, is that most agents are the type of people where they enjoy working with people that they know, and that's what they like. That's easier for them. That's what they prefer. They like it. That's why they built their business. That's right. And for those people, if your sphere is not big enough to do the level of business you want to do, that's where you need to make friends. And the way to make friends is cold calling expireds, cold calling for sale by owners, until you have a big enough sphere that your business will thrive based on the people that you know.
Bingo. Yeah. So good. It's really this. It's that if you're new in the business and you need deals immediately, go to where the deals are. People are literally raising their hands saying, I want to sell my home. Right? Everybody knows that. So go to where the deals are. But whenever people tell me they don't have a sphere,
that's dumb.
I tell them, I say, no, you have a sphere. What you haven't done is you haven't, curated it into an actual database format. And that's your cold calling. And think about it this way too. It's like your family relationships. So my brother, he started in real estate about 5 years ago. His first year in the business, he did 35 transactions. Well, 2 of those transactions, he got a referral fee from helping me find an agent to sell my home. He got a referral fee from helping my Aunt Beth out in, I think it's South Dakota, sell her home. Don't underestimate that as an agent. You can also get referral fees. And your sphere can even be bigger than your local community that you're at, let alone, obviously building that.
Yeah, I think that's true. And Jen, I think you're right. most agents, when asked,
sorry, I didn't hear you.
Jen, you're right on this point only. On this point only. Most agents, when asked, want to do business by referral. That's what they get into the business. And Luke, you said it, like that's just by nature who we are, social.
And they don't want to cold call. That's why they're like, they're high eyes and they don't want to have their feelings hurt. And like me, I cry if I have to cold call anybody. It's just awful. But here's the thing: they don't think that they can control their destiny through referrals. They think they have to sit back and wait for referrals to come to them. Because they don't know how to be authentic and organic and purposeful to cultivate it. And I think, Luke, what you're offering. But wait, I was going to say that's a good place to take a break. And when we come back,
let's do that.
We can find out how to do that. And so we get off this treadmill, we get off this roller coaster, and we know where our deals are coming from.
We can predict our referral income.
Yes. So let's take a break and hear a word from our partners. And when we come back, Monica and Luke will give us the secret sauce to predicting your business.
We'll tell you everything that's right.
Oh, God.
Welcome back. Let's get back to the battle inside the ring. We've got a third fighter in here today, although Luke
I'm being ganged up on.
He's like my brother in this great industry. I think we're related in some way.
I need to bring Greg back. He's like mine.
That's true.
Tell me, is this Greg McDaniels?
Yes.
Yeah, I interviewed Greg McDaniels, so I knew who you're talking about when you said Greg, because he's a big cold caller.
Me and him are the same. We're twins.
I think he really more just likes to drink beer versus the cold calling, but he does them together, so it works.
I love cocktails and cold calling. It is one of my favorite things to do. All
right, cool. So when we left, we were talking about that agents, I think, would love to have a predictable business by referrals, but they don't feel like they know how to do that. So Luke, give us, obviously, in addition to Reminder Media and some of that support, what do you think is the secret to creating a predictable and healthy and long-lasting sustainable referral business?
So it's a great question. Over the years of doing this, so we've been at this for about 18 years. We've worked with about 100,000 small businesses at this point. Nice. And what we have found is I was trying to answer this exact question. Like, how do we boil down what we've learned in sending out over 100 million pieces of direct mail, hundreds of millions of emails type idea? How do we boil that down into something tangible? What we came up with was what we call the FIT framework. And fit, like if you're out of shape, you want to get in shape, right? You want to get fit. If your marketing is not working, you want to get it in shape. And so FIT really stands for frequency, impact, and trust.
Hold on, I'm gonna write this down.
That's good. I know. Frequency, impact, and trust.
Exactly. And the reason why we chose this is because it really, we think about good marketing campaigns to generate referrals, but really it even transcends that. But let's focus on that for the time being. Frequency, it stands for two things. Stands for the frequency of actual touches, how often you need to be out in front of Jennifer, your sphere, in order for you to stay top of mind, for her to remember you. But it also stands for the frequency in which you're actually communicating with her on. Because Jennifer might be into country music, I might be into pop, right? So no, she doesn't like country.
No.
Hip hop. She's hip hop.
So she loves hip hop, right? And let's say I love country. We go in the car, we're turning to different frequencies, different radio stations, right? Because that's the music we like. Your clients, they don't want to hear from you from your frequency. They want to hear from their frequency, right? They want to hear from their channel. So the key here, so let me give you some tactics on frequency. What we have found, it's pretty noisy out there. We have found you got to try to be in front of your database at least 26 times. Every 2 weeks, at least 26 times. That's a bare minimum. Every 2 weeks, you're in front of them. Now, 4 of those bare minimum have to be some type of physical type. That's the phone call. That's the call.
You get to call them? You have to call people? Oh my God.
You actually have to get in front of them, right? So here's one caveat I'll give you. This is for your sphere. If you're meeting someone new, what I always tell people is rely on like what's called the rule of 7 in marketing. The rule of 7 basically means, and they looked at it and said, it takes 7 times for someone to see your brand for you even to become memorable to them. So if you get a Facebook lead, you get a Zillow lead, you get a person at an open house, they need to see you 7 times frequently in the next couple of weeks for them to even remember you. Think about me right now. Everybody listening to this has no idea who Luke Acree is. You will forget me. You will forget everything I said unless I get in front of you some way with my podcast and email drip something. You're not going to remember me. So if it's a new one, get in front of them 7 times for your sphere, minimum of 26 touches. 4 of them should be some type of face-to-face or call type interaction with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then frequency, be on every frequency level that you can commit to and do consistently.
Yes.
Be on YouTube, be on social, send text messages, make phone calls, do direct mail, do events. My brother, right, he's going to do 315 transactions this year. He's an agent in Virginia.
Wow. Nice.
He's about to do a Christmas event, right? Where he's inviting all of his database. I think he's going to have over 300 people there for some Christmas event.
Wow.
That's a frequency.
Yeah.
Because some of his clients are going to love to connect with them face at the event.
Right.
Others are just going to want to receive a text message from him going, hey, thinking about you today, Jennifer, hope you're doing well. Hope you're crushing it. Here if you need anything. You got to be on all these frequency levels and figure out what your clients communicate with.
But I think like as a little asterisk to that frequency, I think people have a concern like, okay, well, but if I'm like touching them so many times, they're going to get annoyed. But here's what I know, like people will only receive the frequency that they prefer. So like if I prefer a phone call and you email me a bunch of times, I'm probably not even going to see it.
So good. So good. I have a client making $6 million. He does over 200 touch points for his database.
Damn.
200.
God.
Right? Now, I even as a marketer, as a business person go, ooh, that's a lot, like, Brian. That's a lot. Are you sure you want to do that? Right? But here's the thing. He's measuring everything. His birthday cards he's sending, his phone calls, his emails, even emails that are not marketing emails that are just follow. He's measuring everything.
Okay.
I share that point to tell you it's very hard to do too many. It's very easy to do too little.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Anyone listening to this, our listeners, you think you're doing too much. You're not freaking close to too much.
And then we'll talk. At least double it.
Yeah. You got a significant other. How often do you need to be wining and dining and dating that significant other to have a great relationship? All the time. The minute I stop actually paying attention to my wife, Megan, that's a problem.
It's over.
Hey, Megan, shout out.
True. All right. So that's frequency.
So that's frequency. So I stands for impact. Impact. Here's what I would tell you. This is what leads us to, people tell me all the time, is print dead, right? I'm in a print space. Majority of our revenue comes from print. Is print dead? It's what I hear all the time. Print's not dead. In fact, Temple University partnered up with the U.S. Postal Service to do a whole research study, found that print was more memorable, that it created a better emotional response than digital advertisements, right? And the key here that I tell people with impact is that you really, to create impact, there's 2 ways I think you can do it. 1 is through personalization, and 2 is through quality.
That's Monica. Oh my God, you're speaking her love language.
We're just like, I love you.
Personalization. Here's a hack for everybody listening to this. You should do this for your database right now. Take your CRM, take your core clients and ask yourself, do you know the Ford method on each of the clients? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. If you know those 4 pillars, if I knew that about you, Monica, man, we have a great relationship.
That's right. That's true.
Right? Then I can personalize my communication to you based upon what I know about you. So one of our touch points that we do on top of the magazine is local events. We curate for you the local things happening in the community. If I know Monica, let's just say you're into CrossFit and I see there's a CrossFit event.
CrossFit, Monica.
I thank you. Clearly,
You're welcome.
You can see that I am into CrossFit.
You're so fit. 0%.
Yeah.
But imagine I knew that you were in my database. I see a CrossFit event in my local email newsletter that's going out. I can literally text Monica, call her and say, Monica, was thinking about you. I just sent out my email newsletter. I saw there's a CrossFit event happening in Harleysville next week. And I thought you might want to check that out. I hope you're doing well. That is so powerful.
It's so powerful. It's what I call a thought of you. It's called a thought of you. And you can be purposeful with it too. If I know that, Luke, you are into CrossFit and I see that, it can be just like you said, just a text.
That's it.
I could be looking for something to send you, to say, I thought of you. And you're right. And we know this, when you received things like that, not only are you impacted by the fact that they connected the dots with something you love, but you're like, wow, they just took a minute out of their day to do that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You get
Linda Baker.
Want to like belong and feel loved. And like, that's all it takes. It's so easy that it's scary.
Well, you have to set time aside to do it. It takes
That's the key. Yep. Glenda Baker, we interviewed on our podcast, and she's like one of the top agents in Atlanta. She's unbelievable. She's a TikTok star now too. So go look her up on TikTok. She's unbelievable. But she literally, as she's going to show other people houses, she remembers if she's ever sold a house in that neighborhood. if she's ever had a client in that neighborhood, and she will literally take a picture of their house and send it to them as she's driving by the neighborhood and go, hey, was in your neighborhood today thinking about you. And I was like, oh, that's so powerful. That's so brilliant. On your way. So impact, it's free. It's, you know, you got to be frequent. You got to create impact. One of the reasons why I tell people underline impact is you can be frequent with junk and it won't get the job done. You have to be frequency with impact, and impact can also be quality. I mentioned our magazine and direct mail and print. The reason why the magazine has worked for us, you know, Tony Robbins says 4% of businesses make it 10 years. We've made it 18 years. The reason why it's worked so well, it's crazy. I still struggle to even understand it, but it's like people perceive it as a gift. Yeah. They don't throw it away. They perceive it as a gift. It's quality. They hang on to it. And because they perceive it as a gift, it triggers the norm of reciprocity in psychology, which is you do something nice for somebody, they want to do it for you. And then I'll wrap up with trust.
Monica, this is your man right here.
If you are frequent and you create impact, but you don't build trust, and I'll explain trust, you're going to end up with a bunch of best friends and no money. And trust me, we all want friends, but we want money, right? We got to make some money here. So it's frequency, impact, and trust.
Yes.
Trust is, are you seen as the SME, the subject matter expert in your industry? When people wake up today and they think real estate in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, where I'm at right now, if I'm a realtor, I want them to think Luke Acree.
Right.
Yep.
How do I get that synonymous with my name, that real estate, they think me? That comes from, I think, a couple of different things. It comes from, how are you educating your client base that you are putting out? So in our magazine, you can literally put a market update in there. You could literally put listings. You could literally put things of what you need to do to your home to increase the value, all the things to subconsciously build trust that, hey, Monica, she knows a lot about the real estate market. She knows.
But even like what you're saying with Glenda sending the picture, it's like, hey, I'm working. Like, look, I'm bringing you a neighbor. I'm working.
I'm out in the field.
I'm doing this thing. Stuff.
Yeah. I love it. I love you guys because you're literally, the second way I tell people is through literally what I call is your accolades, your client testimonials, how long you've been in the business, how many families you're helping, how many you've helped in the past. Share that with people. And like when I did it for myself, right? I said we worked with 100,000 clients. Everybody's credibility of myself rose in their minds a little bit. But when I say, like, I've been in business for 18 years. It rises the credibility, not a ton, but it's those little things that go, okay, Luke didn't create this in his mom's basement yesterday. He's not, type idea. It rises credibility. You can do the same in your real estate business. If you're brand new, you can still do this. Lean on your brokerage. Right. If I see EXP in the background, Monica, for you, lean on EXP's success. Didn't they just hit 70,000 agents, right? Haven't they done billions in real estate sales? Lean on that success and that will build credibility for you. And then last is I tell people, hey, you can brag about yourself, but that gets old real fast. You can share your accolades, share what your clients think about you. Client testimonials build trust so well.
Yes.
Their case studies, their stories, that type of idea. So frequency, impact, trust, that's really, what you need to be putting out.
That's so cool.
It's so good. I mean, Luke, honestly,
I'm converted.
And I've listened to a couple of your podcasts, but I didn't realize like how in sync we are. I always say demonstrate, educate, and inform. Those are your things. And any new agent or tenured agent can do that. You're demonstrating what you're doing for a living and how you're helping people. You're educating them. And new agents have access to incredible data that everybody wants to have. Everybody loves what we do. They love.
I know we're the best topic. We're better. Real estate is better than politics. It's better than religion. I mean,
it's right. It's
so
universal.
True.
It's this topic, but I would say even for seasoned agents, because I didn't start, all of my stuff was new business. We still had repeat and referral, but I didn't really focus on it. So using the things that you guys are suggesting really did help me as a seasoned agent connect with my sphere. Because then once I started connecting with them more, I was like, oh wait, this is easier business. And I don't want to get that hard money anymore.
It is. Luke, do you agree that even top agents have room to tweak that relationship-based marketing that they're doing?
100%. Yeah. I'll give you real stats of how you should be looking at your business. So I mentioned my brother, he'll do 315 deals, I think, this year. Well, this year he wanted to test Zillow, right? So he's been a big sphere guy, right? Because he wants to test Zillow. He spent $134,000 on Zillow this year. He closed 71 deals from that, right? So still got a decent ROI for himself, but it's expensive. He spent 40 grand on his sphere this year. He closed 192 deals.
There you go.
Those are real stats. So what is Steve and my brother doing? Like, we're planning out his marketing for next year. It's not that Zillow was bad. Zillow's good. He got a return on investment, right? It's just, he's thinking to myself, can I take a little bit of that 134 grand and spend it a little wiser? Can I spend it a little better? Instead of just spending 40 grand on my sphere, what if I spent 100 grand on my sphere? What would that
be?
Right. Well, you know what? Don't you think that the challenge is that agents don't think about spending money on their sphere as marketing dollars? They think, oh, I only can do this much for a closed gift.
Know what a return on investment is.
Well, they don't. Yeah, but they don't categorize the dollars of taking somebody out to play golf, sending them movie tickets, sending them concert tickets as marketing dollars. And I really do.
It is.
Look at that budget, right?
Yeah, because they don't track their numbers. It's because it goes back to the pain point at the beginning. You got to treat it like a business. Reminder Media right now, I mean, we're laying out our budgets for next year. We're laying out our marketing plans, right? We have 300 employees. Like, can you imagine if we didn't track our numbers? We didn't lay out a marketing plan.
Oh my God.
It's crazy that we wouldn't even function. People would be like, Luke, you're the worst leader in the world. You're running your own business right here. Track your numbers. Get in there, do the work. It's hard, but you got to do the work. And it's okay if you feel like, man, Luke, I can't find that data. Start today.
Yeah.
Start today.
I mean, I feel like me, you, and Monica we've got at least 20 episodes in us.
Yes, so true. I believe. Yeah.
Yes, you've been an amazing guest. And on your podcast, you always ask about, like, what is the call to action? What can people do today and implement what you said? So what is your call to action for people based off what you told us today?
Yep. So my call to action would be practice a 5 for 5. So start your first 5 for 5 tomorrow. So everybody has 5 minutes, take 5 people in your database and connect with them personally.
Nice.
Really, if you want to get sophisticated in how you do it, do a CMA for them, right? Do a CMA. You're coming up on the spring market here. Let them know what their house is worth. Right now, it's amazing. I learned this from Jimmy Burgess, right? He's a great contributor on Inman, is a great growth strategist.
He's been on the podcast.
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable, right? But send him that. He grew a huge real estate business doing something like that. Or do something simple. Pull out your phone, shoot a video text message, shoot it to Monica and say, Monica, just was thinking about you randomly today and just want to tell you, hey, I hope you have a great day and appreciate you. If you ever need anything, let me know. Shoot that text. 5 people, 5 minutes a day. You do it for every day this month. You'll hit your whole sphere. It will change the game in your business.
That's amazing. Awesome. What do you say to agents that say, okay, yeah, Luke, I get it, but I just feel weird doing that. And I think they think I'm looking for something.
That's dumb. That's what Luke said.
Well, okay. Look, it's like when you start anything, you're going to feel awkward. You get on film for the first time, you feel awkward. You meet your significant other for the first time on the first date, you feel awkward. What breeds the actual comfortability is frequency. So get over your emotions.
It's dumb. That's what I said. That's dumb.
That's dumb. There it is.
Choose your hard. Being rich is hard. Being poor is hard. Being overweight is hard. Being in shape is hard, right? Choose your hard.
Yeah. That is so, Luke, you are awesome. This was great information. Thank you for being part of this. This was incredible. What do you think, Jen? Are we going to do we need to, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're done, but everybody go to Stay Paid Podcast and subscribe, because this is just like one tiny nugget of, I mean, how long you guys have had a podcast? How long has
years?
It been?
Yeah, it's almost been, I guess it's 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 years. Yep.
They're like in the 300s episodes.
I know.
Like we're
babies.
We're chasing them.
Yeah. But it's always great information, you guys. When you have guests on, the guests are great. When you don't have guests on, like, these nuggets are amazing. So thank you so much for being on.
Awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. And if people could take this episode and share it, like it, subscribe, do all the things. And if you are interested in learning more about EXP, give me and Monica a call at 513-400-1691. Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Monica.
Thanks, Luke. See you, Jen.
Yeah.